So this morning we will continue taking down what is called yucca. Yucca is a plant that apparently is native to Panama and the south of Canada. However, we are here in our regions finding them also quite a lot. It thrives incredibly, and the frontal house, which we are trying to clear the foregarden of, has a quite disastrous patch of that yucca. So we're gonna clear that up and probably sow some summer flowers on that patch. What's your take on that?
Clearing the yucca? Yeah, I think yucca was left alone for too long. So it did like I think it's time to remind it that it's not alone.
That's the little yucca forest that we were talking about. So we started taking off here, already some in the back. Here in the front is already cleared. There's one of the wheelbarrows that we filled. We filled already 2 hangers, trailers, and about 4 to 5 wheelbarrows. You still don't see a difference. As you can see, this is one of the main plants, mother plant, that is creating a lot of little babies all around. And that is what creates this forest. So just to show you, this is one of those babies. It's got right behind. There's also another baby. Here's another baby. And somewhere there is the mothership. Well, now that I finally found the right tool, which is this guy, the job went so much quicker. So we have here the frontal part, which is already cleared, and behind me the trailer filled. That was about 30 minutes exercise, that's all.
This plant is extremely fibrous, making it very hard to cut and chop.
And all greenery is gone. Whoa. Yucca palm ridding off day 3.
Teresa's dance with the yucca continues.
Here's the last bit, and there is what we already collected so far. It's pretty much what you could call a misery. Is it? How would you call it?
Sure. Good question. A pest.
So, this yucca palm presumably has been living here, vegetating here for the last, I would think 10 years minimum, maybe 20 years, we don't know. So trying to get rid of it in depth is pretty much of a muscle job. Archibald is right now digging out one of these big chunks of roots. We have been ridding one patch already. Wait, let's show us the root. Here it is. One patch was already done. We digged about 60 centimeters deep and tried to get rid of almost everything in depth. However, there are small bits and pieces that will be left. we have heard it roots from the tiniest bit which is left in the ground. From some people, other people told us it's no problem once you go in depth and go minimum 30 centimeters deep. I need to verify this. However, we came to the conclusion we just try to get rid of it as deep and as much as possible, and afterwards we will clear year by year whatever shoots up again from the top, hoping to be rid of that plant at some point. I do feel a bit bad about it on the other hand, because still, it's a plant. It lived here. It created babies. So we keep some parts of that plant and see if there's other people that are interested in it. We got it. Whoa, that's a big arm.
So as some of you may remember from earlier videos, part of our 13,000 square meters property is also a house that stands more on its own near the street side, more in front. And well, we've been clearing that frontal garden there. There was this famous yucca plant, this overgrowth, kind of taking over the whole garden. And so now I'll be able to share how we've been clearing it up and how it looks like right now after 3 intense days of clearing work. So as you can see, this is already quite a different view. Yucca left the grounds and there is now space for some other plants. Here we also recuperated a whole bunch of like small border stones that we may be able to use elsewhere, or maybe, who knows, here again. And so what is still left to be done here is spreading out the earth, making it as equal as we can. And here is some loose brickwork that we need to take care of, and some earth to place elsewhere. And then I think we can call this frontal garden already a bit cleaner.
So here we find ourselves in the cellar of the frontal house, which is partly collapsed, and we're going to start clearing this space out partly by hand, because there's no other way accessible in that space. So that means like shoveling up brick by brick, carrying that up the stairs, and putting it for now outside to sort what can be still reused and what needs to be disposed of. So right above Archibald you can see where the ceiling has collapsed. Basically there were steel beams that have completely been eaten away by moisture and time, releasing the brickwork which was held by those steel structures. And what was in between the brickwork and the wooden floor above was a layer of sand, which is quite a significant amount, which we find now here loose on the cellar floor. So that's the part where the ceiling has already been coming down, and from here on it's due to collapse, so we have to manually knock it out.
Give it a helping hand.
And over there's a window which we are going to open in the coming days. The closure of that window also meant the stagnation of the humidity here inside of the cellar space, which helped those steel beams, among many other reasons, to rust very badly and therefore also collapse. So we're going to work first on the clearing here, and then work on the ventilation of this cellar space. about the achievement of today?
Takes time. Basically, there's a lot of sand that needs to be carried, and the sand is moist, so making it really quite heavy to carry in buckets. And that's somehow the biggest volume of material, because these bricks, they are hollow, and every batch of bricks you carry out is immediately quite a lot.
But we keep going, and we keep going strong.
Yeah, there's only one way. Keep going.
And up.
And up. What makes the job especially painful in a certain way is the fact that we do not have enough light. So we have one battery powered torch here that lights this, but the whole hallway is dark. There is no electricity right now in this cellar, making it complicated. So we should either get another battery powered torch or find a solution that we have some light in the hallway.
So this is just to show you how high the sand is from here. So we have one hand width, 10 centimeters.
20 to 30 centimeters layer of sand, mixed with some bricks, of course, but I think most of it is actually sand.
So here we are again. I stopped counting the days because we split the days in very short hours to empty the cellar part here, and it looks a bit creepy. And yeah, so you can see we approached the last quarter of that space. So whoop whoop, final countdown. And I'm really looking forward to have that empty and we can start repairing the upper part. So next thing, getting rid of that last patch, and then we have to cut down the steel beams. After that we will start taking the wood out from the top, and then we go from there. Keep you posted. Hey, how are you?
Somewhat exhausted. And you?
Me too. Feels a bit like being in a miner's hole right now. Feels so warm and moist.
It's true. I wonder if I could open this up. Hello, so today we are attempting to remove these wooden floorboards because, as we explained previously, despite the fact that the floor looks still in a good order and state, actually the whole structure holding it up has collapsed. So that's what we've been clearing in the cellar. The steel beams, the brickwork, the sand has been in big parts removed, cleared from the cellar, and so now we need to remove this wooden floor in order to do the necessary works. So that's what we are trying to do now, because these floorboards have been nailed and clicked into each other. So we'll see how and what we can do. So I'm trying to remove the first board, which is difficult because these boards are clicked into each other. So we have to lift the first one out. Once the third one is out, I hope to be able to access with my crowbar these boards from underneath. On the other hand, what is making it double as challenging is the fact that this floor is floating above nothing. So I'm a bit afraid of walking on top of it while removing the floor.
So what happened in the past days is that we started cutting the floor out. First we wanted to recuperate some of those wooden floorings, which wasn't really possible because basically too old, too rotten, too moist in the cellar. So it was not possible really to recuperate all of the wood. I'm going to show you how it looks like. So here we are. That's the state of things at this very moment. As you can see over there, we have some rectangles that we were cutting out. There's still the last bit. As you may remember, that's the one that actually still has an intact ceiling, so we have to work our way frontwards with a ladder from the top to remove the wood further.